Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know I mentioned that we'll be doing a proper full IFR flight and everything in the next video, which is this one, but I was craving for something. I was craving to showcase a bit more of the Philippines, and I guess one of the most famous destinations here that even foreigners have heard about is Boracay. So I figured we could go and check it out to provide a bit of contrast with like how Manila looked like in the previous video. So full urban, dense city, and now a full scenic tour of the beautiful sights in the Philippines, Boracay being one of them. What is that guy doing? I hope they're not in here to put handcuffs on me or anything. And we are starting off in Kalibo airport. If you are flying to Boracay, chances are you will be flying to this airport. There is a smaller airport which is much closer to Boracay itself, to the island, but oftentimes that's not, airliners don't land there because it's too small. So we'll try and simulate it from here in Kalibo, where you will land. We'll try and trace our way through there, and we'll go to Boracay itself, right? So let's go and get into the cockpit. By the way, I have a special guest beside me. Not sure if she wants to talk, but yeah, everybody say hi to Mrs. Clumsy. She wants to take a scenic sight of Boracay as well. That is if I can get this plane to start off, if I remember how to do it. This plane is one of the most like basic planes I've seen, in a good way, because it's just like a flying car. It's like even the dials look like a car. I think it's a matter of enabling the master switch. Hearing something wind up. That's good. Landing gear is down. Strobes, I guess, can come on. What did I just remove there? That's the one I removed accidentally. And I think it's only a matter of putting in, turning the key like a car. And just like that, it's starting. So, yeah, you can easily think of this as a car with wings. That is so cool. Okay, let us do this. Other pedals are working. Brakes are working. Parking brake should be right below there. Alright, looking good. In terms of, so that's where Kalibo is. I'm not sure if I can show you more. Caticlan, the airport that is nearer, is somewhere. Oh, it's just actually touchscreen. That's cool. That one is Caticlan, and that one is Boracay. So what we'll be doing is we'll be departing from Kalibo in here, runway 2 something, I forgot, and then we'll trace across the coast here. Just fly VFR, spot where Caticlan is, and this is Boracay proper. Yeah, that is the plan. So for now, let's go and enjoy the sights. Alright, we are good to go. Parking brakes are off. I'm not sure if I need flaps. Probably not. Trim set for takeoff. Maybe not that one. You can see that trim changing very slowly. There you go. Okay. Taxi, nav lights. You know what? That's on everything. Water rudders, you only need water rudders in the water, which makes sense. Alright, where is the runway? Should be over here. Now, I don't want to hit this guy. So we'll try to taxi this way. Try to stay away from him. You might clip him. Oh, that was close. But I think he's good. Might have gotten a bit nervous there. Okay, runway 23 I think it is. I did have to tweak with the weather a bit, so this is not live weather because currently as I'm recording this, it is raining in Kalibo, so it does not provide for a very scenic tour. So we'll do this instead, but that should be fine. What the heck is this truck doing? Is he actually on the runway? I think they're looking for me, guys. What the heck is that? Yeah, it looks like they're onto me. Clumsy's trying to fly. Cut him off before he wreaks havoc anywhere else. So, what now? What now, bro? Now I cannot even move anymore. Let's see if I can just close my eyes and pretend that he's not there. I hope I don't clip him. Don't look, guys. Oh, I just noticed you can even see the reflections on the panel here. That is such a subtle effect. And I don't even have like ultra settings. This is high-end settings, so one notch lower. And still, it looks amazingly beautiful. Windsock is a bit of crosswind, isn't it? Normally you'd want to take off into the wind, so when the wind is going that way, that's a good sign. We are on the right direction here. But I don't think that's going to be that critical at the moment. Let's go and brake here. Make a U-turn. That should be more than enough runway. And airliners land here, so we should be good. Line ourselves up. And yeah, you can see from the dials in this plane, not very much like your typical airplane with all the attitude indicators and everything. It's very minimal. It's very like car-like in that sense. Right. Take-off power is set. Airspeed's alive. I'm actually not sure what the rotation speed is. Maybe I should have read on that a bit before I jumped in. Try to keep center line. That should be good enough. Let's go ahead and rotate before we skid all over the runway. That looks good. Right. So from there, tap the brakes, gear up. You see, there's not even that vertical speed indicator. Like you see your altitude on that big right dial, but you can't actually see like how fast you're climbing. So it's very much oriented for like visual flight rules. Wow, this is nice actually. Very scenic. So first we get a glimpse of how the nearby lands look. Looks like lots of farms. Very rural in some of these areas. That's the beauty of them. So let's go and climb to around I guess 1,500 feet. Should be able to turn down the throttle a bit so it's not too noisy. I think we can still continue our climb there. Airspeed looks good. Alright. We're now on downwind for the airport. That's the runway we just took off from. Should be okay. It does feel a bit more windy than usual. We trim here a bit and see how we can continue with this. So yeah, the plan is to trace that route because normally when you arrive in Kalibo, if you're planning to go to Boracay, you'll be landing in Kalibo most likely, and then you'll need to take a shuttle. And there is a main highway here which I'm trying to find. I think that might be the one. Highway might be exaggerating it a bit, but there is a road that takes you there. But the road is anyway very much going along the same lines as the coast. So I figured instead of tracing the road, might as well just trace through the coast like this. And it's going to be much easier to spot. So what we'll do is we'll climb to 1,500 feet. And then we'll fly straight and level. And we'll just keep the coast on the left side here. And see how far it is until we get to Caticlan. How long it takes. There's actually a city there. Right? That might be the city proper. But yeah, all of these satellite images, they have been automatically downloaded. You know, I didn't have to do anything. That's part of the sim. The simulator connected to the Bing map servers, downloaded these maps, and you get a more or less accurate representation of how Kalibo is. That should be 1,500 feet. That looks good. Alright, I think we can level off here now. I wonder what island that is. Interesting. Let's see. If I try and... So I have another monitor here. So I can take a look at the map. So I can tour. That's Bakawan Eco Park. That one. I have not been there before, but some of you guys might know it. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, as I was thinking of a video to make, I was a bit torn whether I should go for like a full flight, proper flight sim experience, or do a bit more sightseeing. Because I think in the previous video where I showcased Manila, it might mislead some of our foreigner friends, some of friends that are not from these parts, and they might assume that the entire Philippines is just densely packed buildings everywhere, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think showcasing that both ends of the spectrum and showing the beauty of the other places is just fair. So I thought, well, let's go for the famous destinations. Let's go for Boracay. I'm sure even those who are not Filipinos have heard of it. At one point, if you have been looking for a beach to have a vacation in, then chances are Boracay is one of the things that you've considered. Definitely is near the... For me, it's the top of my list, and we'll see that later as we go. But yeah, it's it has been renovated, or what is the term? But you get my point. It has been completely overhauled since the past few years. I actually haven't been here in a long time. The last time I was here, it was still like the party place, more or less. But now it's very different. Anyway, I think... So you've seen how Kalibo looks, how natural it feels, right? And I think I can keep on doing this, and I'll bring you guys back when it's time for more Boracay proper action. I'll take you guys back when we're near Caticlan Airport. I think I've lost the road, but at least we have the coast, so we can still continue tracing that. Catch you guys in a bit. Welcome back, guys. We are almost there. Getting close. Oh my goodness, that looks like a beautiful plane, isn't it? Perfect for destinations like this. I've been flying for, I don't know, maybe around 20 minutes. Not that long. Can't actually remember how long it took for the shuttle going from Kalibo to Caticlan, but if you look at the map, Caticlan should be pretty close to where we are now. And I managed to finally trim my plane properly, so I hardly need to touch the stick. Caticlan Airport should be right there, I believe. Romeo Papa Victor Echo. That should be the one. And Boracay is actually that one already. Can we see it from external view? That looks amazing. Can't remember. How many times have I gone to Boracay? Once? Twice? Not that many, but those have been very memorable experiences. I have not visited yet since it got renovated, and now it's a very different place, for the better, I think, because before Boracay has been known to be a party place. Like, it's a beach, great white sands and everything, but it was very well known for being a, what do you call it, a party place, because there were bars all over the beachfront, stuff like that. So it was like a very active nightlife, perfect for the young ones. And during my days, back in the day, old man stories. No, yeah, back in the day, we sure had fun with those nights there. But I think now it's not that anymore. When it got renovated, everything closed down for a couple of months, I believe. Took some time. Some of you might have even gotten affected with the shutdown of Boracay. And when it got up again for tourism, when it opened up again, then it had a completely different vibe. It was more natural, more peaceful, more serene. And personally, I actually like that better. As you grow older, you tend to shy away from the noisy areas and tend to lean more towards the more peaceful, more relaxing sceneries. I guess that's why I got hooked into flight sim now, because gone are the days when I look for like the adrenaline pumping car chases or jet fighter dog fights kind of thing. Now flying like this, being able to relax, being able to simulate real life environments, that's something that really enjoying more and getting into the nitty-gritty simulation aspects. There is Caticlan Airport. You can see how short the runway is. I'm not actually sure because that runway seems like it gets cut off in the middle, like this white part here. I'm not sure if that's real, but yeah, it seems like it got cut in half. You can see there are no like landing strips on this side, so you have a very short runway left. And yeah, I'm not sure if that's really how it is, but that would explain why airliners aren't allowed to land there anymore. That would explain a lot actually. And right here, so if you go to Caticlan, or if you're coming from Kalibo, there should be a road coming through here, and I think there is a ferry terminal somewhere on this side. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the building actually. Here. I'm not sure if there's really a building like that in real life. That might be like some of the inaccuracies because of the autogen, the AI logic that reads the satellite images and then puts buildings on them, analyzes the satellite imagery, and tries to determine, okay, is this a house? Is this a building? How tall should it be? What color should it have? What kind of windows? What kind of architecture? And I think they have a very comprehensive AI logic in there to sort through, given like geographical data and stuff like that. This here, guys, is Boracay. Let's try and descend here. Get closer to the action. Now the actual, like when you go to Boracay and stay in the beaches, the actual beach that you stay in is on the other side of this one. So we are currently on the opposite side, but we'll make a turn. And that's if you've heard like station 1, station 2, up to station 4, I think. That's like the entire stretch there. We'll go there later. But for now, we explore here because I think on these other sides here, on the tip of the island, we actually have some very significant landmarks as well, supposedly. I'm not sure if it was modeled though. But I do love how the water looks. The water, even the color of the water as you go in the ocean, right? You would get that dark deep blue, and as you get closer to shore, you get that like greenish kind of feel that makes you feel like you're on vacation. Oh my goodness, that is perfect. Right, let me just focus a bit on our altitude here. I think we can maybe, okay, we're down to 1,000 feet. That should be okay, I think. Let's slow down here. We'll pitch up a little, trim it. Look at the detail on the glass. You can even like see very subtle fingerprint marks there. The attention to detail they put in and the minor scratches. Every little bit helps with the immersion. My goodness, that is beautiful. Yeah. Alright, so one of our targets is to go back to Boracay. Maybe when this whole thing is over, this entire thing that's happening in the world, maybe when things start normalizing, we can go back to Boracay. And maybe we can stay at one of those fancy resorts. Like there should be like Shangri-La Boracay. Should be somewhere here. That might be it actually. That might be it. It has its own beachfront. Like a very secluded, very exclusive feel. Like having your own beach and not needing to stay with a group. the main like Boracay strip, so to speak. That might be it. Let's see. Also, something about the plane, as I mentioned, it is just like a flying car in most aspects. You can see the dials look very much like a car. I guess that's by design. You can see even the seat belts. It's like a car. The seats. The handbrake maybe not, but close enough. That should be Shangri-La Boracay, if I'm not mistaken. But that is pretty cool. And yeah, you can, if you look at the dials in this plane, you'll probably, and if you're familiar with what the other dials are in normal planes, you'll probably find some of them are missing. And that's, I guess, in line with the philosophy of this aircraft. It's more for really a sporting kind of thing. It's not meant to give you accurate numbers. It's more of a visual flight rules, like flying by sight instead of by looking on your instruments. So I doubt this plane would be good to fly in a... Oh, that looks so good. I doubt that this plane would be good to fly in bad weather conditions. But in perfect weather like this, can't hope for anything better. I might be mistaken. It might not be Shangri-La. I think it might be this one, if I look at my map. So if I look at that one, yeah, should be, I think. But in any case, we'll check it out both ways. How's my airspeed? My airspeed is getting a bit on the dangerous side. Not sure what the stall speed on this one is. That is beautiful, and yes, that is exactly why you go to the Philippines. I'm pretty biased, of course, but it is my honest belief that the Philippines has the best islands, best beaches rather, in the entire world. So I have pretty high standard when it comes to beaches. Let's go and fly over here and try to level off this one. We're down to 500 feet, so we get a better view of the island. That, I think, is Shangri-La Boracay. This should be Station 1. Now, I don't remember seeing this many buildings in Boracay, but you guys let me know if you're familiar with this. I don't think there should be buildings like this. I think it should be all like small buildings, small houses. I doubt that's changed significantly since the rebuild. But yeah, you can imagine that one. White beach stretching that far away. I think that's Station 1, Station 2, up to that far ahead, which is Station 4. I doubt we'll be able to recognize any of the actual buildings. But yes, the islands, even the small ones like that, should, I think, be pretty accurate. So what we'll do is we'll do a single pass over the entirety of Boracay here, and then we'll try to land. That's why I took this plane, because we want to land close to where the action is. And that looks so good. Might not be 1:1 accurate, but you get a good feel of it. Now, I'm not really a beach person. I don't like swimming in the beach. I like being on the beach for its relaxing vibe. So what I distinctly remember, the first time I stepped in Boracay, I stepped on the sands. It was a completely different experience, like literally like milk powder texture. Normally you would know like sand is pretty rough, right? And you would feel it on your feet. But the first time I stepped in the white sands of Boracay, my goodness, like, is this real? This really feels like you're stepping on, yeah, milk powder. And I could not believe it. Let's turn around here and maybe do a landing. Maybe we can, maybe not the safest thing, but the more scenic route would be to turn around from here. Let's make sure we have our airspeed still in there. Don't go too low. There you go. That should be okay, I think. Let's fly a bit more. There we have it. Yeah, look at the fingerprints. Sorry. There is no station 4. Mrs. Clumsy just told me. Thank you for the fact check. I'm sure some of you guys will be commenting that already. Station 3 just shows you how far I have been. How long it's been since I've been here. Alright, let's go and prepare for a water landing. But don't worry, because this is a seaplane. If you got that reference, you might be an Animal Crossing fan. Right, let's dial down on the throttle so that we start losing airspeed. Maybe we can go land in Shangri-La. Maybe they can welcome us. I'm not actually sure about the exact mechanics of how to land this plane, but we'll just wing it. We'll see. Alright. I love how the engine sound really changes depending on... Let's go deploy our flaps here 1 notch. How beautiful that sounds. Really changes depending on how much throttle you put in. Let's go in for 2 notches of flaps. Full flaps here. And just try and float along. This is what I like about water landings. And I'm not sure really, I don't know the real like physics in there, how to do this. But I like it because there's no runway. Like the entire water is a runway. So you don't have to target anything in particular. You just have to make sure that your descent is pretty much controlled. And that's super cool. I think this is where the angle of attack indicator comes into play. I think when landing this plane, you should put it on that yellow line. The angle of attack, you see that middle bar. So I think I try to do it like this and pitch up like so. Just maintain that. If that's any indication. There we are. Ah, beautiful. And now we are in Shangri-La, maybe somewhere there. Now with the water planes, you don't have brakes, so you have to really time it. Like even if you step on the brakes here, nothing will happen. Because it kind of makes sense, right? So really have to time it and try to slow down like so. I think they also put up flaps when they land so that the water doesn't, the wind doesn't have much effect on you anymore when you land. And when they slow down, I think that's when they deploy this water rudder, because that will help you steer. Because normally when you like use your rudders here, it will only change, it will only move the wings. But when you have the water rudder, something deploys below, so you also like that one. Yeah, I think yes. So that's helped to steer in the water like so. So let's see where we can park. I think we can park somewhere here. Oh man, look at how good that water looks. That looks so real, doesn't it? Even from this close. How nice. In that floating bobbing thing, that also gets reflected even when you're outside like this. Yeah, that still works. Now the problem is... Ah, yes, I know what happened. Because I was in the drone mode, you can't actually change your controls while in drone mode. So the engine actually didn't get cut off. So normally what they do, because they don't have brakes, is they... So seasoned pilots know how to do this, but of course I don't. They just try and estimate. So if they want to like park maybe there, then they kind of estimate it. So they speed up here. And I think when you get closer to shore, you should put up your water rudder so you're sure that it's not going to hit anything. And when you're close, you just kill the engine and just bob along until you get to the shore. I saw some videos actually where the pilot just opens up, goes down, and just like drags the plane near the shore there. But we can't do that here, so we'll try to just inch our way along bit by bit. I wonder how far we can go inland and if it will crash and tell us that we... You might have seen some videos in Flight Sim where when you crash, it's just a black screen. I hope we don't get something like that in here, because we are going very slowly. We might hear a thud though as we hit the shore. Come on. Should have opened my landing lights as well, I guess, but who's looking? Right. Welcome to my house, guys. I wish. There you go. And there we are. Safely on shore for a change. Alright. So yes, I would highly recommend, once you guys get the sim, highly recommend checking this out. I guess the parking brakes won't have an effect, huh? So I highly recommend checking out this plane. It's very fun to fly. It's like a flying car. And with that, we turn off the switch. Cut off the fuel right there. And I think we should be good. Alright. Leave you here. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. And maybe next episode we do that proper IFR flight with full simulation stuff. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed this one. Clumsy flying. And bye-bye. Looking forward to your comments. See you soon.